The latest from Cowboys training camp is a mix of excitement and growing concern, especially on the injury front. As always, we'll dive into those updates. But first remember, the most active commenter on today's video gets a shout-out and a free entry into our George Pickens jersey giveaway. Last episode, David Haynes took the top spot with 71 comments. Can anyone top that today? Let's get into it, starting with the biggest headline. Mazi Smith left practice early today, and it definitely wasn't under ideal circumstances. If you saw the footage, you could tell something wasn't right. He didn't look comfortable at all walking off the field. According to Clarence Hill, it's being called a sore knee, but as of now, we don't have clarity on exactly why it's sore. What we do know is that Mazi appeared to be in pain, and it didn't look like a precautionary exit. Tyler Smith, when he walked off earlier this week, looked fine. Mazi, not so much. And for a player still trying to find his footing in the NFL, especially one whose rookie season was underwhelming by first-round standards, this is not the kind of setback you want to see. Mazi's development hinges on reps in practice, reps in preseason, reps in game situations. Every snap counts for him. So while we're not at the point of saying he'll miss games yet, the possibility alone is alarming. He had his struggles last season, but there were signs of improvement. His pressure rate started trending upward as the year went on. This offseason, he dropped some weight and was expected to contribute more at both the 3-tech and 1-tech spots on the defensive line. But now, even a couple of missed weeks could significantly slow his progress, and that's something this defense cannot afford. Why is this such a big deal? Simply put, the Cowboys lack depth at defensive tackle. Without Mazi Smith, your options become thin, borderline problematic. Osa Odighizuwa becomes your anchor. There's been some talk about Solomon Thomas stepping into that 1-tech role, but he weighed in at just 260 pounds last year. That's not what you want in a traditional nose tackle role. Maybe in certain packages or situations, but not as a regular option. Jay Toya has size, sure, but he's a 7th-round pick. Let's keep expectations in check. Perion Winfrey has flashed a little, but again, we're talking about a player who was in the UFL not long ago. Denzel Daxon? Practice squad. Tommy Yakubuski? Ghost mode. Has anyone even seen a clip of him in pads yet? And this is the scary part. Many of us already believe the Cowboys needed to add another defensive tackle before camp even began. If Mazi ends up missing real time, that need doubles. There just isn't enough there to feel confident heading into week 1. Let me know in the comments, how concerned are you about the Cowboys' defensive tackle room right now? Scale it 1 to 10. Now onto some more injury updates. Tyler Smith didn't appear to participate in team drills today, though the team was back in pads. That knee tendonitis issue is still lingering. While it's not overly concerning right now, it is something to watch. Chemistry matters, and Smith needs reps next to Brock Hoffman and others along the offensive line. With Zach Martin still out and Biadas coming back slowly, continuity is hard to build. Brian Schottenheimer did provide an update during his press conference safety. Wayne Thomas is expected to be out another week or so with a lower body injury. That may push his return to just before preseason week 2. Not ideal, but manageable. Deuce Vaughn also remains sidelined. His timeline? Still TBD. And interestingly, Mazi Smith wasn't even the first injury of the day. Christian Matthew, the recently added cornerback, exited practice early as well. He was working lower down the depth chart, but it still adds to a mounting list of injuries. While many of these are short-term 1 or 2 weeks, they accumulate quickly, and that's what we're seeing now. It's the kind of stretch that forces roster adjustments and strategic reevaluations heading into preseason action. Speaking of roster battles, let's talk about the player who's quickly becoming the training camp darling, Traeshon Holden, the undrafted rookie wide receiver out of Oregon. Every camp has one of these stories: the underdog receiver who makes plays, earns buzz, and becomes the fan favorite nobody wants to cut. This year, Holden is clearly that guy. He's stacking practices. Not just one good day, but multiple days in a row where he's showing up, especially in connection with Joe Milton. Whether it's sideline grabs, contested catches, or just being in the right place at the right time, Holden is flashing. He's become what we like to call the pet cat of training camp, a player the coaching staff and fans alike start rooting for. And rightly so. This is exactly what you want to see from your undrafted rookies. Show me you're too good to cut. Now, let's be real. Holden hasn't earned a guaranteed roster spot yet, not by a long shot. No UDFA is locked in on August 4th, especially before a single preseason game has been played. But he's forcing the conversation, and that's a win in itself. Holden put up 718 yards and 5 touchdowns last year at Oregon after transferring from Alabama. He was part of a strong receiving corps and made his mark late in his college career. The question is, does he have enough to crack the Cowboys' final 53? The challenge for Holden is the competition around him. The top of the depth chart is pretty much set. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, and Jalen Tolbert are locks. Cavontae Turpin, despite being more of a gadget guy or returner, is also very likely to make the team. Jonathan Mingo, another rookie who's shown promise, will probably claim a spot as well. That makes 5. The 6th spot, that's the one up for grabs. And Holden's biggest competition there is likely Ryan Flournoy, who also brings special teams value, something Holden doesn't do at a high level yet. That's a key detail. The 6th receiver has to contribute on special teams unless they're just too good to leave off the offense. And Holden might not check that box yet. Another thing to consider: who is he making plays against? Holden has mostly been working against the 2nd and 3rd string defensive backs. Guys like Bruce Harmon, Troy Pride, and Kemon Hall. The Cowboys' depth at corner is severely depleted right now. When you're facing that level of competition, you should be making plays. So let's keep it in perspective. He's performing well, yes, but it's not like he's out there cooking Trayvon Diggs or Darren Bland. Now, about the practice squad, I know a lot of fans worry that Holden will be claimed by another team if the Cowboys try to stash him. But let's be honest, that fear is usually overblown. The majority of UDFAs do clear waivers and end up on practice squads. It happens all the time. Unless Holden absolutely balls out during preseason games, there's a good chance he makes it through. And let's not forget, Holden didn't get a huge payday as a UDFA. It wasn't like Dallas outbid 10 teams for his services. His contract suggests there wasn't a ton of post-draft interest. That typically makes it easier to sneak players through to the PES. Still, he's absolutely earned a shot. Preseason will be everything for him. If he keeps shining under the lights the way he's been doing in practice, then yeah, it might be tough to cut him. Either way, it's a storyline to watch very closely. Let me know in the comments, do you think Traeshon Holden makes the final 53? Y for yes and for no. A couple more quick training camp notes before we wrap up. C.J. Goodwin, the longtime special teams ace, actually got a few reps at wide receiver today. It's not something new if you've been following closely. Joe Hoy spotted it during minicamp. Goodwin played wide receiver in college, so this is more about emergency depth than any kind of role shift. In a worst-case scenario, he's someone you can throw out there if you're absolutely out of bodies on game day. Also worth noting, Troy Pride got some work with the first-team defense today. That happened when Darren Bland moved inside to nickel, opening up an outside spot. But this cornerback room, man, it's thin. Kaiir Elam is holding one outside spot. Bland moves inside, but the other boundary role is a mystery. Andrew Booth is still banged up. Israel Mukwamu is rotating everywhere, doing a bit of everything. And then you've got Kevin Hall and Troy Pride in the mix. Not exactly confidence-inspiring. If Bland is going to play nickel full-time, go get Stephon Gilmore back. Seriously? One more name to watch: James Houston. The edge rusher has been flashing a bit lately. It's a crowded position group, but this is the kind of environment where a guy like Houston thrives. He's shown in college and flashes in camp that he can rush the passer with real effectiveness. Can he beat out someone like Peyton Turner? It's an uphill battle, but not impossible. That's the full update from Cowboys training camp. Injuries, position battles, surprises, it's all happening. Make sure you're subscribed and locked in. We'll be covering every preseason game live and giving you breakdowns just like this one. Hit that like button, leave a comment below, and don't forget the most comments on today's video gets a shout out and entry into the Pickens jersey giveaway.